not stop. So, access to information is a right. People cannot hold as information from people only because they want the people to be subjected to act of corruption. Because you conceive the information from the people, so they get there and they get confused. So somebody come up and say, I can help you. Is that your only job, to just come and to be helping people and not to exploit them? And you say you're helping? Is that what you call help? No, it's not help. You're exploiting that person. So when the information, the same thing with plenty of doing at the Liberia Business Registry, that place can be confusing when you get there. The Ministry of Transport, we want to do the same thing there. The John F. Kennedy Medical Center, hey, that's not easy place to. The corruption just all over the place. People just they're moving about the place only because they want to corrupt people. From the Ministry of Transport, from outside to inside, they are sending all around for themselves expediters. What kind of expediter you are? You're exploiting people. People suffer for the little earning. You come to access service, you go there and you exploit them in the name of being an expediter. We want to reduce that. We want to take you from that place and stop exploiting the people. So the people can see what they're supposed to do. If you're coming from in the interior, you can't read, or whoever you are, maybe you can't read. Just come with somebody, let them just tell you what the procedures are. They can just, you have the first place, you have to do this. The second one, you have to do this. That's what it is. That's access to information. It empowers people. It reduces the stress of asking people so they can, to be subjected to these corrupt individuals. Their only intent is to steal from you. They are only there to steal from you. That's what they want to achieve. So we want to reduce that by placing these fees and procedures, rules all around in the different service centers so that people can have access to information to reduce the corruption, to reduce, people just flooding the places and doing nothing only to steal from people. Okay, that has happened, and we are expected to be going for a retreat. So our retreat is being planned. We will be going for a retreat to see how we can, when the eagle flies, it has to retreat to the mountaintop and defellow. So when it defellows, it comes back as a newborn. It comes back with vigor. It comes back with all of the energies so that it can work even harder. So that's what we are going to do. The year has, our project year meaning has ended. So we've concluded the second year of our project phase. So we are going to have a retreat. We are planning a retreat to go, review what we've done, like the government of Liberia did. So, but ours, we actually go with an agenda. Every department has to present 35 minutes. You have to present what you have done, what you said you were going to do, what you achieved, what were the challenges, what are the way forward. So you have to present that, and then we can be able to plan for the next project year. So when we're coming back now, we are coming to implement what we said we're going to do. So you can hold me accountable to say you were to do 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the M&E guy will be able to track every progress along the way. That was the reason why we're asking the government of Liberia to tell us what were the things they take away from the retreat that they had. So we are going to have ours. If you ask me, I will tell you what we're going to take away and what we're going to do. I can tell you that for free, because I know that we have every 2 months, we have to do that. You have to do a work plan to say what you're going to achieve in the 2 months. And then at the end of the 2 months, you have to review. We have to go for a review section, and everybody will report and tell us your successes and your challenges. That's how you get productivity in the workplace. That is why we're demanding the government of Liberia to emulate these kinds of things so that we see productivity. We don't have people just provided to the people. The people are yearning for services, but they cannot have access to those services because we are paying people for nothing. They are doing nothing and we are paying them. So let's review what they are doing. If they got nothing to do, let them go and sit down. Let them go and sit down. There are more qualified people out there who are looking for a job. They can come and do and provide the services and us bringing our partisans and putting them into places that they have nothing to do. They even know their term of references. We need to do that. Thank you so much. Okay, so that's what we have done. We're going to be doing. So let me just leave it at that and go to the next segment of our program called Little Things That Matter. Other little things that matter, let me just greet His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Liberia, Dr. George Manning. Good morning, Your Excellency. Good morning to the peace-loving people of Liberia. Your Excellency, we say thank you. You made a public statement. You addressed the nation on the July 26th violence. And I mean, thank you for that. At least for once, you have spoken against issue in the country. We have called on you repeatedly, Your Excellency. Things are not going right. You need to speak out. Do not always allow these things. People listen to hear from their leaders. People listen. When you speak, things happen. When you speak, things happen. But when you keep silent, it's dangerous. There are a lot of things that have been going on. Rampant allegations of corruption all over your government. You have never spoken against one. Or I call it suspicious death all over the place. You have never spoken against. These deaths are deaths of citizens, your citizens. You have never spoken against one. And we've talked about that, you see, Your Excellency. You cannot lead a country and things are not going right, and you cannot speak against them. They are wrong. But we say thank you for speaking. But Your Excellency, I mean, must you wait until your partners, the international community, speak before you react? Your Excellency, we thought that, I mean, that was not correct. What happened was act of lawlessness, which contravenes our existence as a citizen, as a people, as a country. It threatens our peace. It threatens our democracy. So it needed prompt reaction from the head of the country. We have waited until after 7 days, and the international community spoke before you reacted. I mean, it appears to be more cosmetic than being sincere. Your reaction was more like cosmetic than being sincere, because something preceded your action. Your Excellency, we say, I mean, we need to address these things. If anything, no matter who is involved, whether it's opposition, whether it's imposition, whether it's no position, so long it is a Liberian citizen who is involved, or anybody who goes in contravention of our laws, let them be treated according to the full weight of the law. Let us not be selective in executing or enforcing the law, when people come in conflict with the law. Like that, it creates grounds for lawlessness. It creates grounds for people to take, the mantle of violence into their own hands. Excellency, we thought that the reactions, so it was, I mean, it came not very. It was not like something that you saw compelling that you needed to correct, but it was like something that forced you to do it on the way it happened. Which we think it is not a good thing that you should be doing. You should speak on issues when the need arises, when these things happen, so long they are in violation of our laws, they are not in conformity of our laws, the best thing we look out to you to do is, or to see you doing, would be to address those issues, speak against them, see what happened. You spoke too late, but I mean, the LMP that said that we were waiting for complainants, they started to act because you spoke. The institutions that the individuals were attending, after you spoke, what happened? They took action. They were all waiting because, I mean, they felt that nothing was going to happen. Even though we're still looking up to see what the charge sheet, to see, whether the guys will be forwarded to court, what happens along the way, and all of that. We still look forward to seeing that. But I mean, we really, really don't think that it was the right thing that you did, Your Excellency. You need to be more proactive than be reactive. We call on you to be more proactive in dealing with addressing issues concerning the state and its people. Thank you so much. The next thing we want to talk about is the lawmakers. Good morning to the Honorable Speaker of the House of Representatives, Maryland County District Number 1, I think, lawmaker. Yeah, Maryland County lawmaker and Speaker of the House of Representatives. They move once a vibrant and very vocal Dr. Buffer Chambers. Good morning, your Honorable. And good morning to the Senator of Green Crew and the pro tem of the Liberian Senate, Honorable Albert Chi. Good morning. And good morning to members of the House and the Liberian Senate. We hope, and we have always said to you, we will crave your indulgence to always pass laws and regulations that will be more in the interest of the people of Liberia rather than in your interest. There should be lessons learned. People who did those things in the past, see what happened to them. Some of them passed laws that protected them when they were in offices. When they left offices, what happened? The law didn't protect them any longer. They became ordinary citizens. Now they are ordinary citizens. Some of them are still around. See what happened. So that is the reason why it is important to always pass laws that will benefit the entire population. So when law benefits the entire population, it becomes more beneficial to even you who are serving, to those of you who are serving. When you leave the position, you're not going to serve those positions forever. And one thing you should keep at the back of your mind, when you are serving a particular position, you're not going to remain there forever. Even tenure positions, you're not going to remain there forever. You're going to leave those positions. When you leave, what happens next? So that's why you need to be thinking about it. So we encourage you to kind of pass laws that will benefit the general public rather than always passing laws that will benefit you. That's very, very dangerous to your own survivability and the survivability of our country. Thank you ever so much. Okay, on our elections and you, we want to speak to young people. We are going to elections next year. And all of these things that you see happening now, the political heat has already started. We started feeling the heat already. People are, crossing over. Politicians, they don't really. Let me leave that because I want to talk something, but I'm going to leave that. People started crossing over already, jumping from one point to another, going without integrity, though. But that's not what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about, I want to speak to the consciences of our young people. For too long, you've been used. For too long, you've been used as perpetrators of violence. You've been victimized. But you have not come to the realization that you've been used as a tool, as a mere tool, to accomplish the aim of these politicians. And when they've accomplished their aim, they dump you along the way, and you become they call you names. See, the guys who are now roaming the streets, who we calling quote unquote Zogos, they same politicians today. Some of these think politicians, they know as them. And these politicians today, they are still here today and seeing these guys in the street. How do they call them? They call them Zogos. They call them all kinds of names. And you have not learned your lesson. You still being used as a weapon of destruction. You still availing yourselves to be used by these same old politicians and younger ones that are coming up so that you can be victimized. When you ran around, all along you've been running around, what has changed in your life? Under the rain, under the sun, you've been walking from distances for carrying hunger. The guys who you walk in the street for, what happened to them? When they get elected, what happens? Their lives change. Their families' life change. But what happens to you? You remain in the same position. You don't even have food to eat. But yet, you're fighting for people. These guys, they have their bank accounts loaded already. Though with questionable resources, but their bank accounts are loaded. But you don't even have the day's meal. But you put your chest before the bullet for people who will not even protect you. That is why, as we go to elections, I will crave the indulgence of our young people not to look out for what will benefit them. This is what always leading us to all of the electing the wrong people. We elect a bunch of thieves because we're looking out. They go and steal the public resources. They come and give you little or nothing, and you jump in the street for them. You get under the sun, you get under the rain, and you elect them. When they get into power, what happens? They even get richer. They get richer, and you get poorer. So you have not learned. You need to come to your senses and learn. Evaluate these people on the basis of what they can offer to the country and not what they will offer to you. When we look out for what people will offer to us, that is the reason why they will steal the millions and they come to give us peanut. They buy the vote. At the end of the day, when they get elected, they even want to get triple of what they have spent. Then you expect them to do for the country? No. So let's stop viewing ourselves and putting our chest before bullets for people who will never. What we can put our chest before the bullet for will be to protect our democracy, to protect the peace that we have today. Anything that will go contrary from protecting the peace, from protecting our democracy, we should stand against those things. Those things, one of them will be corruption. Corruption is a recipe for chaos. Because if money intended to build hospitals in a particular region has been stolen by a certain individual, that hospital is now constructed there. The people who will die of curable illnesses will be the residents of those places and not those officials. They have access to go anywhere for treatment. They go to the most expensive hospitals to get their treatment. In fact, they order their foods from the expensive hotels and restaurants in Liberia now. But yet, you're still going to Lapa Bido. You can't even get the money to even start your day. You don't even have the money. But you're putting yourself in the street for them to go fight for them. You harming your fellow young person. You doing things, you brutalizing them only because you want to protect your political interests. We need to learn. We need to learn, young people. We need to think about our future and the future of our children's children. What future are you building for your children? What future are you building for your unborn children? What legacy will they emulate from you? That you are a violent person, you get in the street. Some of you get into protests and you don't even know the intent of the protests. You see people protesting, so long as your friends there, you join in the protest. At the end of the day, when you get arrested, they carry you and ask you, why were you protesting? You don't even know. I saw my men protesting. So what? How did you get in? We need. How long we've been victimized? Stop being belly-driven. Stop being belly-driven. When you are belly-driven, the politician will just hold you by your nose and use you anyhow and they dump you. We must learn to stand for something. so that we don't fall for everything. We must stand for something. Protect your integrity as a young person. As a young person, even if you don't have, you can build integrity for yourself from the scratch, and you protect it. But if you don't have integrity from scratch, when will you want to build it? We need to think about it. It's just a serious. I will keep talking to young people as we go forward to, especially go up to 2023. We'll talk about elections issue, but every time we'll try to, talk to the consciousness of our young people so that they can start thinking about positive things that they can contribute to Liberia rather than always, being used by these politicians. These guys got nothing to offer. If they have something to offer you, they will be pushing for things that will benefit the generality of the country and not that things that will always benefit them. They're pushing, they're celebrating the chopping of $30,000. They're celebrating it. These are people who you don't have even five Ray Kappa. You don't have it in your cover. But they're celebrating 30,000 that they're chopping and they're beating their chests. And yeah, we ate it. And then you don't even, the hospitals at JFK is just empty. You go there, they give you flinch, they give you prescription to go buy the medicine. You don't even have the money to buy the medication. People are dying every day from Cuba AIDS disease because they don't have money to buy medications. So at the end of the day, they don't even, when they get sick, they don't even want to go to the hospital. They rather die at one of the nearby clinics, but they don't want to go to any public facility because that's a death trap to them. But then the people you're fighting for them, you're putting your chest before the bullet. They're taking $30,000 and they just for pocket change. Then you're fighting for them. What have you benefited? What has benefited the country since you elected them? What has changed? You need to learn. We need to learn. You need to come to your senses. We beat living senses into your head so that we can be able to do things to help this country. Let us stop thinking the same way we've been thinking all along. Our parents thought the same way. We have not changed. We're thinking the same way and we expect to change. Nothing will change and we do the things the same way and we think the same way and we don't think outside of the box. If we think outside of the box, they're never going to use us anyhow. Thank you ever so much. That's what I wanted to talk to you about today. And we'll leave it at that and just take a break, just a brief out. When we come back, we go to talk about the code of conduct and discuss it very shortly. Let's take a very, very short break. Just a break. Back, and if you are just joining us, the program you are listening to is called Integrity Watch. Integrity Watch is a 1-hour radio program brought to you by the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia. It is aired every Thursday on ECOWAS Radio 91.5 FM. My name is Sam Zota. I'm the Media and Communications Officer at CENTAL, and my colleague Mike Wandau is behind the camera, making sure our visibility goes beyond this studio. If you are there following us live on our Integrity TV page, we say thank you for being there wherever you are. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. And thanks for being there. Like we said, today we are going to be discussing the code of conduct. And this platform has been established to educate the public about issues concerning or regarding the fight against corruption, how we can build integrity in Liberia, and to educate, like we've said over and over, as we move over to 2023, we'll be talking more about elections issues because we are going to be participants in these elections. We're not going to sit on the fence because we need to change the way we think, the way we do things. We need to consultize the people about what the law says and what they need to look out for from these politicians. Stop looking out for t-shirts, for little things that they bring to you. hold them accountable for the right thing that they're supposed to do for the country. So we're going to be doing that. So like we said today, the code of conduct is what we're looking at in section or chapter 4. Chapter 4.7. 4.7 is about care of state property. Care of state property, meaning the asset of the government or government properties. It reads, all public officials and employees of government shall protect all properties of the state against damage, theft, loss, destruction, and abuse, and where applicable, administer resources in the most effective and efficient manner in compliance with the Public Financial Management Act and other financial regulations and the Public Procurement and Concessions Act to ensure the purposes for which resources have been allocated. He or she, meaning the public official or the employee, he or she shall not use public resources to gain personal benefit or give undue advantage to his or her relatives, an individual or group of individuals. So the code of conduct is a law. When this law was passed and during the elections in section 4.7, care of state property. So it's talking 4.7 is talking about how all public officials, all public employees, all those who are employees of government, you are on obligation to protect the properties of the state. If you are working in a particular max, ministry, agency, or commission, and you are assigned a laptop, that laptop is not your personal property. It is for the state and for the purpose of executing the work of the state. So it means the laptop should be used for every function of that particular agency or ministry. You should not use the laptop for your person to take it and carry it to your business center. They're printing and they're doing internet cafe. You open cafe. Every time they assign laptop to you, take it to your cafe. You put it there. And you're making business out of the laptop, the government laptop. This law is saying you should not do that. It's saying you should protect everything that is given to you. If they assign a car to you for the office that you occupy, it means that the car is not your personal property. Now you will just use it. Even those, the mentality is so bad about state or public property. The mentality is so bad to the extent that the young people say when you go on a football field, when you play football and they call you government boom, it means that anybody can kick you. So that's how it is. So that's how they think about government property. They say government property. Government property means it can be used anyhow. Some of them who are assigned cars, they take government cars to haul their bricks. When they were not used, if they had their own car, they would never use it for some of the purposes they can use government car for. They would never. If they had their own cars, they will never use it for the purposes they can use government car for. That's the mentality that people have about government property. So they use it anyhow. So this law is saying you should protect it just as you would protect your personal property. You should protect state property the same way. You should not abuse it. You should keep it away from being damaged. So you always, when you drive a government car, you jump in all the holes. You don't. There's no brake on your car when you drive, so long that public car, that government car. You just move it anyhow. The Liberia National Police. I'm sorry for that. But I mean, state properties. When you're driving your own car, you see them, they drive with care. But when they're driving public vehicles, I mean, they just move it anyhow. In less than 1 week. New cars, you go to the somersault already. The whole car is spoiled. You go to some of the places, new cars, they are packed because they damage them because of carelessness, most of them. So the law is saying we should protect state properties. We should not use it anyhow. We need to protect it. We should not use it to benefit our relatives. You take the government car, and the car that will be used for everything. Use it for everything. You got the capacity to get a little car for yourself to drive your children, take your children to school and bring them from school and all of those things. Or you get to work late because you got to take the children to school from school before you use the car to go to before you get to work is 11 o'clock. What time you do the government work? So that's the reason why they say you should use it for only government property or government activity. You should not use it for your personal activities. You have the capacity to buy cars, but because you assign the car to you, use that car because you want to be going to work late. The law is speaking against that. We need to protect government property just as we protect our own. So that's what we're talking about this morning. Talking about 4.7 of the Code of Conduct for all public officials, and we're looking at care of state properties. So, like, we go into elections, we need to protect the things. You cannot use state property to go and do your campaign. The law says no. You can't use state property to go run campaign. You use state resources to go run campaign. That's why the law says no. You can't do that. You steal the people money, the government money to go run campaign, and you become millionaire. You spending money all anyhow anyway. You need to stop that. You are in violation of the law. Thank you so much. That's what we're talking about this morning. So if you are out there, you want to participate, you want to be part of this program, we encourage you to call the number 0779 0000691. 0779 0000691. We can take your calls and get your view on this topic that we're discussing today. We're talking about the code of conduct for all public officials, and today we are specifically looking at care of state property. What's your experience? What's your experience about care of state property? Do we really look after state property, or we call it government property, so it's supposed to be in use anyhow? Let's hear you. You can make your point by calling 0779 0000691. 0779 0000691. That's the number to call to be live on the program Integrity Watch. Integrity Watch is a 1-hour radio program brought to you by the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia. We have a caller on the line. Good morning. Good morning. Your name and where are you calling from? Zina, let's hear you. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. No. Sure, sure. Mm-hmm. No, 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 no. Okay. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Thank you. Thank you, Zina. Thank you, Zina. Thank you. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Zina. Thank you. Thank you. Thank thank you so much. 0770907779000691. That's the number to call to be live on the program. I mean, you working in the place, they assign equipment or assign things to you. At the end of your tenure, you're leaving the office, you take everything and carry it. I mean, what is that? Why should you do that? Why would you take government? What is the reason why when you enter the place, there should be asset registry? Hello, we have a call on the line. Good morning. Your name and where are you calling from? Mark, let's hear you. Okay. 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 Thank you, Mark. Thank you. Yeah, like I was saying, you are given as government asset to be able to manage. There should be asset registry. So when you get employed, they register the asset, all the things that are given to you, they register it. Every 3 months, maybe every quarter, the asset registry, the guy, the person who's responsible for asset registration comes and do inventory of the asset that you have. We have a call on the line. Good morning. Your name and where are you calling from? James calling? Okay, James, let's hear you. Okay. All right. Thank you, James. Yeah, there should be asset registry. So every quarter, the person responsible for asset registration will come and do inventory of what are the assets you still have, whether they are still functioning and all of that. Before you leave that office, you should make sure that your asset registration information is clear before you leave that office. But I mean, How will people work in government and they take government property to carry to their houses? Why? Why should you do that? That is the reason why at CENTAL we've always called for making the rule of law to be very strong. If we make the rule of law very strong, we can go for those assets from those people, seize it from them, and we prosecute them. That's what we need to do. We go for our asset from them. It's not for you. You stole it. That's stealing. You stole it. That's still property. You stole it. So we take it from you. We prosecute you. If that jail term, you go to jail. That's what we need to do. We want the rule of law to be very strong. That's the only thing we can do to enforce, to make sure that people abide by these regulations, these laws that we have on the book. The number to call 0779 0000691. We can take few calls, maybe two calls so that we can call it a day. 0779 0000691. That's the number to call to be live on the program. We have a caller on the line. Good morning. Okay, Emmanuel, let's hear you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Emmanuel. So we can demand accountability from them. We can demand accountability. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Your points are well noted. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about today, rather. So we call it a day for the course. We said today we're looking at the code of conduct for public officials, for all public officials. So today we're looking at section 4.7. 4.7 looks specifically at the care of state property. And we're talking about employees of government, how they're supposed to ensure that they protect state property from being damaged, from loss, destruction, abuse. You cannot abuse will mean to use it for your personal gain and do it all anyhow. So I mean that's what we're talking about today. And we said we're recommending to the government to have registry to all of the different those who have these things before they leave, before they get employed, they sign up to the registry. Every month, every 3 months, we do verification, asset verification, and then before the person leaves office, let's make sure that we check and verify that the person have all of the assets intact before they can leave. But we cannot be, buying properties all of the time, buying. Every government they will buy, change the buy properties. At the end of the day, people take it away. I mean, there must be process through which assets are taken away. You cannot just take it and you carry it away because it was assigned to you, and that's stealing. We must prosecute them, make sure that they are prosecuted for stealing. So that's what we're talking about today. So the program is you've been listening to. It's called Integrity Watch. It's a 1-hour radio program brought to you by the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia. It is aired every Thursday on ECOWAS Radio 91.5 FM, and it runs from 11 to 12 noon. It's relayed on Prime FM in My name is Sam Zota. I'm the Media and Communication Officer at the Center for Transparency and Liberia. My colleague Mark next edition.